Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about this one. And I know I've had on a lot of people over the years. I know a lot of people have been here and they've said this and say they've said that. But this man is the definition of we all need to stand up for greatness because this man is that definition. I've been doing this for 6.5+ years and I've had on the who's who of people. And I'm not going to go into that. But this is the man, ladies and gentlemen, that was built for Sportswire Radio. You're going to find out why here throughout the next hour plus. We're going to talk about some places he's been, some stepdads you might want to say he's wrestled, and we're going to talk about his own Day of Atonement coming. Plus, maybe we'll mix in, how he kind of burned the world recently and may have some championship gold in his sights. We'll talk about all of that. We'll also talk about maybe some places you've seen that he's been seen in front of millions. Oh, 3 initials is a clue. How about maybe recently you've seen him in places like Pro Wrestling Venom? We're going to talk about maybe some different names, same faces. But I know that our guest has certainly done a lot. And I know this is a long overdue appearance here tonight. But I must give our guest that introduction because I'm disappointed. In the last few years that this man has been wrestling in different places, they have not yet given him this introduction. So while I can't change the past, I can certainly fix tomorrow. And I can certainly give him a preview of what's to come for his own Day of Atonement. We'll get to that. And I may even put out some music that our guest has done. Yeah, I won't mention the rec room, though, where people have known him in. Yeah, he was wondering, you seem to know everything. Yeah, I find my stuff out, but I'll leave that at that. But in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rock, baby, because I see our chat is here, and this man has waited far too long to be on Sportswire Radio, and let's continue the weekend here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. A man that is the definition of greatness. He's one half of the Black and Brown Connection in NEW, where they're one half of the number one contenders to those tag team championships of the world. You've seen him in places like Pure Vanguard Wrestling, NEW, the TF Crew, GTS, and Pro Wrestling Venom. His name is simply put, Castorr! Welcome to the life of Castorr, my friend. How are we doing?
That is one hell of an intro, man. I mean, it's been a long time coming for me to hear that. It's been a long time coming.
Well, I'm glad you got a chance to hear it. I've been waiting a long time to have you on, probably the better part of a year. I mean, this has definitely been something. You have been one of those guys I've really wanted to have on the platform from the wrestling world. You've been one of those guys. You caught my eye over a year ago, and we've talked on and off. You've been in my streams, I know,
Hmm.
but definitely long overdue. And you asked me before, or you were on the air, oh, does anybody get nervous? And I was like, no, Castor, I'm the guy that should be getting nervous because I have to do this every single time. I have to do the
Yeah,
same intro, remember the words. We don't do teleprompters here. We don't go and read it off the table. I just
right.
go and just have to memorize it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there's no need to be nervous. You're built for this platform. When I thought about Sportswire Radio, you're the definition of that. But enough of the intros. We'll talk, I'm sure, a lot about that later on. But Castor, it is an absolute honor to have you here. And I want to, for those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you and the companies that you have most certainly represented, talk to me about what we can expect coming up 2 weeks from this Sunday, TF Crew's latest show, Day of Atonement.
I mean, before I get into what I'm gonna do to our poor boy Leonidas, I'm just gonna say from top to bottom, it's just we have a banger plan. We have the tag team death match with Gabe
Yes.
Sayers and Mikey versus. Can I say come on YouTube? Because that's what they call themselves.
Well, I have to go like this. If you want to say it, go for it. Do it.
Um, completely unstoppable machines, though.
Thank you. You're
We're
a
gonna
gentleman.
do
You're a
it
gentleman
so
and a
that you
road
don't get
scholar. Yeah.
so that you don't get censored. The open deaf. I mean, just
Oh, we
from
talked a
top
lot
to
about that.
bottom.
Yeah, with Jake. We talked about that. How about your friend LJ Wash against Doc Holliday?
Yo, I'm
That match.
excited for my boy LJ. Tomorrow's in title match. Like, good luck. I hope he can pull it out for us. But
I mean, I talked a lot about that earlier in the week with Gabe and Jake. But you got a match that,
yeah,
I mean, has got years in the making written on it. I have the poster here for it. I'm donating a ticket to the show. So
oh
I'm
man,
really excited about this. And I'm eagerly anticipating your opinion and some words you're going to have to say for one Leonidas, who you already said is the poor boy here in this.
this is 2 years in the making, Tom. I've been the first ever TF Crew event. I fought Leonidas in hair versus hair, and I
Yep.
unfortunately lost. Now, of course, I wasn't gonna shave my hair fully. Obviously, I did it halfway because I lie sometimes, you know.
That's okay.
But
I forgive you. I forgive you.
right. Other than that, we've fought in 4 different states, 5 different companies. It's like everywhere I go, I see his face, type of thing. Like he's like in my shadow, and this is an opportunity to close that chapter. September 7th, I get to put Leonidas in the past, and I can finally move on to bigger and better things. But I gotta
That's
put it to bed.
well, there is a lot to talk about there, and I knew you would be built for this because you talked about 2+ years, 4 different states. And
Hmm.
what is it about Leonidas that he's a guy you can't go past him? It's always in some way or another, some different company, some different state. I mean, what is it about Leonidas that you just can't seem to get rid of him?
He's like a tick, like if you don't check, like they just leech on without you noticing. Like you don't notice because he's so like obscure and irrelevant, but then you pop up to the company and there he is, and then they're like, "Oh, you two in a match," and that's happened 5 different times across 5 different companies in 4 different states. So I'm just 2 years, like I'm tired. I don't know if he's tired, but I know the audience is tired, and I'm just ready to move past. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah, sure,
love
sure.
I love, having a mortal enemy to say, but like this has gone too far. You know what I'm saying? Way too far.
So you feel like, in a way, this show is named really after you, Day of Atonement, because of just, again, 5 different companies, 4 different states. We think about the Northeast and the Mid Atlantic. You and him have definitely been up and down. So, how important is it for you here coming up, Castor, to get a victory 2 weeks from Sunday?
This is arguably the biggest match of my career, because
Really?
like in singles, he got the best of me last time, and now as our company grows and I start to grow, I feel like this is a must win for me as we show up to this event. This is like a make or break singles match. I feel like do
Mm,
I because if I don't win this, like how can I move past him? You know what I mean? Like it's gonna feel like I'm chasing him now. Like all this talk and then I can't
sure.
back it up here and for 2 straight years after following. So I think if I put him to bed here, that's gonna be one of the biggest wins I have, and then this gives me more legitimacy to move on, maybe even to a title.
That's a great point. And a lot of people look at matches like this, and believe it or not, they're more important than a title match. I know certainly Angel and Rad, they've certainly had quite a
Ooh,
feud, and
that's a long story too.
I know you're gonna definitely talk about that in a little while because you gave me something like an Easter egg almost. I didn't even know it was out there. I mean, I knew about the match, but I didn't know it was out there. We'll talk about that.
Hmm.
Obviously in wrestling or in sports, everybody looks at, oh, there's something on the line. There's a championship. But in this case, I kind of think that a grudge match like this, there's more on the line. This is more
There is
important
more.
because you're going out there and you just hate your opponent. When you go out there for a championship, yeah, it's important, no question. Everybody
Hmm.
knows you want to be in that spot. But because you legitimately hate Leonidas, you hate
Right.
this man, you have not been able to get past him. You haven't been able to get rid of him. This match, in some ways, to me, means more than if there was a belt on the line.
I mean, this means the most to me because, like I said, for 2 years, it's like I've done this and I've done that, but I've also never moved past this stage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
I've been wrestling professionally for 2 years, and all 2 years of those, he's been a part of them. Like, every single place that I go. So, if I could break this tackle to say, because Madden 26 just came out, I can't wait to play that. If I could break this tackle on Leonidas, like I said, it'll be finally time for me to move on to bigger and better things. And then we could really see what I'm capable of. But until I beat him, I feel like we'll never know.
So you feel like in some ways that you and Leonidas, it's almost like you both, in some ways, have been on similar paths. Yes, you guys have different backgrounds. He's certainly done things more in the backyard for a longer period of time. But in some ways, I kind of feel like you both are on similar paths. And really, this is why
Right.
this match is kind of what it is and what it means to you.
I mean, I've literally been wrestling at his home for the past couple of months in NEW. So it's also hard to avoid him there.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll talk about NEW for sure. I have a few things to
but
say
yeah,
there.
we're tied in. Like everywhere I go, he goes. So it's kind of hard to deviate past when we're always in the same environment. But like I
It's an
said,
interesting point. No, it's an interesting point. And you said something I want to go back to, which is the TF Crew's latest show. And I always love what you guys do here in the TF Crew because when you guys do it, it's not like a show every month or every week.
hmm,
It's kind of like one of those things, almost like what I call an attraction. You guys are like an
right,
attraction to our circuit because when it happens, you got to drop your stuff and pay attention to it. And you talked about how there's going to be a big crowd here. It's going to be a big match feel. You guys are on a Sunday. It's almost like the NFL season kicking off, the TF Crew's kicking off yet another big show. I think the irony of that there, Sunday afternoon, it's almost, are you ready for some TF Crew? Almost like, are you ready for some football? It's going to be a TF Crew party. You're a football guy. You like that reference. But I mean, being here also in a live setting, you guys are going to have a big crowd. TF Crew crowds are always loud. They're always rambunctious. You're going to have a lot of people there. And I would have to think that adds something to what we're going to see 2 weeks from Sunday because you're going to be in front of a big crowd, in front of a lot of people, and it's going to be now an environment you might feel more comfortable in.
absolutely. That's what we get into this business for, Tom. Like when you hear that crowd, the moment you hear your name called and you walk through that curtain, it's like family out there.
Sure.
And I think that's what's also going to help me push past Leonidas on September 7th.
Yeah, I know it's coming up here quicker than a New York minute, and I
I can't
want
believe
to.
it's almost here. I really can't.
I said it with Jake. I think I said it with Jake 2 days ago when he was here, and I certainly talked about it with Gabe. I feel like it was yesterday. I was promoting you guys last year, going into
Yeah.
January, and here we are now. We're going into September, and summer is about a month away from being over. But we got plenty
Hmm.
to talk about here tonight. We're far from over, and please go to the Eventbrite page for the TF Crew. In fact, I've got it right in front of me also because yours truly is donating a ticket to the show. I really hope that you'd also join me in supporting the TF Crew because Gabe made a great point on Monday's show, and he said, "Listen. This is the way you want to support our wrestlers. This is the way you want to support those to keep getting opportunities to be in front of live venues, to be in front of a live audience. This is how we support our wrestlers. Everybody talks about, oh, he said this, she said that. Well, forget about all that. The way we support each other is by supporting live venues and events like this one. Day of Atonement. It is an outstanding card. It's got everything for you. If you're a wrestling fan of any sort, you want to see wrestling like what we're going to see with Leonidas and Castor. If you want to see the open death match invitational elimination match, you got that. If you want to see the tag team tornado death match between Louis Jr. and Louis Sr. against Gabe and Mikey Anarchy, got that. If you want to see a match that could go an hour like Steamboat and Flair, we got Angel Santiago and Rad Dad Radley Belmont. So we got a lot here. There'll be more, I'm sure, to be announced between now and September 7th. Please support the TF crew. I can't stress the importance of it. Doors open 2:30, bell times 3 o'clock. Can't ask for a better day. It'll be beautiful outside on a Sunday. You'll be ready for football and the TF crew. You can do both. You can watch the games from 1 o'clock to 2:30. Head over to TF crew and the Lincoln Room. Then you come back, you watch the Sunday night game, and you'll be ready for TF crew. It'll be a TF crew-like party. Castor's going to be there. That's the link. We'll come back and talk about that. I want to talk a lot more about the TF crew, undoubtedly. But, speaking of Rad Dad, and I actually was talking with you about it, and I knew about this, and I won't say how I knew about it, but we do have a match that you recently wrestled Rad Dad Radley Belmont, and you wrestled Papa Bear Wade Kruger, who just found me on Instagram. What a small world. We've known each other for like 2 years, and he just followed me and found me on Instagram. But you were just in the ring with Mr. Rad Dad. You were in the ring with him, and obviously that took place. And I want to talk about that because obviously we get a chance to watch it here. Very few people have seen the match, and it was over in Pure Vanguard Wrestling. And talk about the opportunity you just had not too long ago. As a matter of fact, 2 weekends ago, to wrestle Rad Dad Radley Belmont and Papa Bear Wade Kruger.
Well, first of all, shout out to Ref Nick for even having me in this beautiful ring. And this, like, the way the production and everything is when you get in, it's very, he has something good going on with Pure Vanguard Wrestling. It's a cool fam. Everybody treats each other like family. Everything's nice, and it just flows. Like wrestling shows, sometimes they like struggle to flow when you go in. Like,
yeah, I know. My buddy's an indie wrestler in New York. Yeah,
right.
I've seen it.
Like, so to have like a clean slate, like, or have a show go from start to finish with no hiccups, it's like sometimes it's rare. That's why I cherish like companies like my home TF crew, companies like Pure Vanguard Wrestling, because it's just simple things like that you enjoy. You enjoy the little things.
Nice. Is that something you pick up on a lot too in other places you go to?
Absolutely. Like you notice stuff like that. But yeah, when I got in, I noticed that it was a different type of environment. And Angel was not fond of where we were at all. Like he's been a little irritated since he first debuted and hasn't got a win, so he didn't really care. When we walked in, he was like, "This is fancy and all, but if we don't win, like, who cares? Like we're gonna look pretty in defeat." And I'm like, "Yeah, so I guess." But I was there to have a good time, as you can see. Because I was just in awe of where I was. I was like, this place is amazing. Like, do you see the logo? Like, and he just,
I know. I mean, this is like, boy, I wish every show looked like this. I mean, my goodness, what a beautiful venue. I mean, I get a lot of indie wrestling companies come on here, and I have to squint to see the people in the building. I have to squint to see the camera here. You look like you're in a movie right now here. My goodness.
Right. And then Angel last minute, because we had a plan, which I talked about with Uncle Otis, and it was we were gonna conquer and divide the Vanguard. That was our tag team model when we came in. And once before we go out, I see this old man, which I now know to be Broadway Joe, who is an NWA legend.
Yes.
He comes out with us, and he's our manager, but that wasn't planned, that wasn't communicated. So Matt, I could not say that. This is a PG company. I wish I could say that.
Yeah. That's family-friendly wrestling for you. It's family-friendly wrestling.
Yeah.
Not TF Crew. It's not Pro Wrestling Venom. I know you've been into the different places. It's not those places.
But sometimes it's refreshing to do family-friendly, not because like you get to test yourself within the restrictions. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like.
Well, you know what it's like?
It's like
you're a musician, right? Sometimes you write a song and you're writing it just for a hit. So you got to be, let's say, a certain way. You're going to be commercial, pop friendly.
Right.
Whereas if you're not writing for a hit, you're gonna write whatever Castor feels. You're gonna drop an F bomb. You're gonna just write whatever you want
Yeah.
in the song selection. The song title you don't care for. So it's when you go to a family friendly show, especially in the indies, it's in a way, I know it's not exactly the same categorization, but kind of like that.
Right. Yeah, it's nah, you pretty much hit it on the nail with the music comparison. It's like once you're in this PG environment, even when we did a secret Boys and Girls Club show with the TF
I
crew,
saw that. That I saw.
it
That
was
I'm aware of.
you were like, how do you perform with these kids here? And it's just another challenge, and it's just another thing that you could say you did. Um, but with this match, I feel like we tested the limits just a little bit. Like we had some near slip ups with our verbiage, and we had some interesting in ring action, but the crowd enjoyed it, which is what made this magic. But working with the stepdads is just
Oh man,
it's
they're
almost
like
like a day off. You know what I mean? Like the character work that they do,
yeah.
it's amazing. Like, but we came in with a goal.
Hmm.
It was like, yeah, we know they're gonna come in and they're gonna play with they're gonna try and entertain. You know what I mean? We
Sure.
came in and we had a goal. We're gonna
Hmm.
come and we're gonna take this momentum and we're gonna try and take over Pure Vanguard Wrestling. But this is what kind of messed it up right here. We had a plan. We were hoping he was gonna go against Papa Bear. We were just gonna wear him out. We are gonna have him tired, just have him run. He was gonna chase Angel, but he said no thanks. He wasn't gonna chase Angel. So we had to switch to the new plan, which is September 7th early.
Plan B. You ever
Oh
hear the
man.
old adage Plan B? This is Plan
Plan
B.
B, September 7th, just a tad bit early. We're gonna see how this goes. And Angel, for the most part, even though we have some terrible history, I
Yeah,
will
you
say.
got, you know what? That's why, like, I didn't want to say it till you said it, but you guys have a rather, interesting history. It's rather
Yeah.
star-crossed. I mean, just putting it kindly. I mean, you remember a
Yeah,
match you had with him
Angels.
that was like literally went quicker than a New York minute? You remember that? Or maybe not. Don't bring
Yeah, we
that.
don't talk about that here, Tom.
I'm
Like
not gonna put that up on the screen.
I
I'm not
thought I was
that
an
dumb.
endearing guest, you know?
Yeah, I would like you to keep coming back on Sportswires, but yeah,
Like, you know
we
what I
won't mention.
mean? Like, who falls for the trip? It's, you know, the Big 25, and like everyone knows to jump over this. And then, so
Eh,
like, Angel has like his ways, you know,
well,
like you're like, he's good here, but
I mean,
I don't know, man.
well, I
If I
mean,
wasn't filling in for Gabe, like, I would never tag with him. Like, let's just say that I'm friends with Gabe, and I was doing this for him because he had a prior obligation to handle.
yeah.
And once I heard it was Angel, I was actually like, is Doc not around or something? Like, is anybody else? Like,
So you were
and
like not sure if you wanted to take the opportunity. Then that's kind of fascinating. Big
yeah,
stage, big environment. So you were kind of unsure.
right. I mean, because how can I trust my partner? You know what I mean? Like, we'll bring it up. When he beat me in those 11 seconds, I was trying to break into the business. I was a kid that
Yeah,
was trying to
2 years
learn the
ago.
ways. And, like, instead of, you know, giving me the respect, he tried to end my career. He wasn't trying to go for a win. He didn't go for a pin or a submission or nothing. He just kept hitting me until the ref decided to stop, which, by the way, that was a terrible ref that day as
Well,
well.
I could. So you know what I could say in defense of this is that you put prior history aside because Angels
Hmm.
got certainly major problems right now with Rad Dad, and you're
I
looking for an
mean,
opportunity. So for a night, you put those differences aside, and that's the way I would look at it.
I didn't do it for them. I did it for Gabe. I told you.
All right. Well, I tried. I mean, listen, I tried, but the point is well
And
taken.
if
The point's
Gabe
taken.
is also he's putting me in some bad situations here. I also feel like he's trying to test me sometimes because you know he's giving
He
me
has
some
said that
great
here on
opportunities.
Sportswire about testing guys. He has actually said that
Yeah,
not this appearance,
this
but
is a
his
test
last
right
one.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, team up with someone that's beat you in 11 seconds, and then you also we got to win back on him. I don't know if we remember, but this was a
Yes.
6-man tag match where I unfortunately had to tag with Leonidas and Doc Holliday, and we went against Jake Murphy,
Yes.
Angel Santiago, and Kobo back then.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Well, we'll talk
I
about
got the
Kobo in
win
a little
back home.
while. We'll talk about Kobo still. He'll come back up in your most
Yeah,
recent
he's
match
also a
anyway.
big part of my career as well.
Well, the circle of life. I mean, that's the Lion King movie. But obviously, look, at least, I mean, so far you haven't taken the brunt of the offense that Angel has taken. But
Oh no, yeah, I took down stepdad quick though. Like we revisited some history there. Now this was nothing against the stepdads. Like I said, I was just here to have a good time. Angel was really defiant on this win. This is the win right here. Me making it on this apron and being in this tab match with the stepdads and the
yeah, a
big
lot of guys
25
I
on the
have on
stage.
here, a lot of guys come on and they really want to be in the ring with them. I have some of the guys on from VTW, the DBW guys, Sean
Hmm.
Jovi. So it's so funny because the stepdads are like they're the one team or the one group of wrestlers that it cuts across everybody like in our circuit, which certainly tells you the respect that they carry because one promotion, that promotion, you obviously knowing, with Gabe and all TF crew, and you get to
Right.
see it a lot more up close. But yeah, so many guys from the different companies I have come on, they know the stepdads and they would love that opportunity.
Yeah, man, this was magic to work. And as you can see, I know you guys can't hear it, but already we're not that far into this match and we're already arguing because history just time does not heal wounds.
No, I mean they,
So
they apparently used to say that time heals all wounds, but with
it
you
does
guys, no,
not.
it
That's
doesn't.
a it does not like Broadway Joe's over here choking him out. I'm not cheating. Like I said, I don't know what we're cheating for. Like if we're gonna win, let's at least do it honorably, you know?
But
Now Papa
everybody,
Bear's
well, to be fair, in this sport, wins a win. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's by any means necessary. I've been saying this on here for 6.5 years, man. I've been on here for that long, and I have this conversation with
Mm-mm.
I don't know at this point 1,000 guys. I mean, that's what always it
Yeah.
comes down to.
That's not me. I'm not gonna act like I'm holier than thou. I've cheated before and I'll cheat again. But I just feel like this was not the time or place
Mm,
to cheat, you know?
okay.
Like the right here he's telling me to do a double team. We didn't communicate this. He's just kicking Rad Dad. So I went to go and give a tribute to Batista and he almost kicked my head off, but that's fine. And I tried to tell him here. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I told him I do the guns. I'm like, "It's Batista time." You know what I'm saying? And he's like, "Batista?" I'm like, yeah, that's we haven't communicated nothing like this. So he tried to treat this like a tag team and almost got us the match
Well, you know
lost
what,
already.
what
Like
I tell you what it is that you guys haven't been a team before. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the
we're not
stepdads,
even
they know
friends. Like
well,
forget a
but the
team, you
point is,
know?
if you're a team, you guys have had experience together, then you'd be able to do those things. But the stepdads have been together for 15 years. I mean, so for them,
Right,
they're going to know each other like the back of their hands. At this point, they're practically brothers. You and Angel,
right,
this is the first time you're truly tag teaming. You're not going to know. You're not going to be
right.
on the same side as what he wants, or
And it
vice
might be the
versa.
last.
Well, you did do your cutter at least, which I always enjoy that cutter you do, which is
Thank
got
you.
that in there. You look good with that. I always like the roll and then you do the jump. I mean, you definitely do look like $1,000,000 out there. But
I
listen,
appreciate that.
there's probably one of your better moments of the match. I mean, look at what you guys bring to the table, and that's why you guys could be an intriguing team. I mean, that's one way you could look at it.
Mm, we had our moments, but overall, I standing next to this guy makes my skin itch. So
Well,
I don't think there's gonna be many more times we're gonna tag, but at least we tried. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I did this as a favor. This was not planned. Gabe was supposed to do this, and last minute, like look at this, like
well,
kicked
then
my
that's
head clean
obviously why you
off.
guys aren't going to be a team much longer.
Right, kicked my head clean off.
Spine buster
Uh,
there. Rad gets an opportunity to give himself a chance to catch some wind and maybe give himself an opportunity to get out in the match. And we will say hello to MJ Sear, who says shout out to Gabe, and you did lift
yeah,
Gabe
shout out to
somewhere
Gabe,
else.
man.
Man. We love Gabe. No, we love Gabe, and Gabe's apparently working not too far from me, starting actually this week, but starting next week more full time. So hopefully we'll see
Uh,
Gabe a lot more often. But be that as it may, Papa Bear's come in and he's definitely
yeah,
attacking you like his fantasy football team this this year, and he's
That's a
attacking
big
you like
boy.
those. He's attacking you like those bets he's thinking about on today's Major League Baseball scoreboard, and maybe for week 1 of the college football season next weekend. Because Papa Bear is definitely, that's a cue there, but some things that Papa Bear does. But obviously he's upset and he's moving around here like an angry bear, and the bear is woken from hibernation,
Oh my
and the stepdads are in
goodness.
control.
That is a big boy. Like when you see that running at you, I don't care who you are. Like you fear just a little bit. You're like, oh no. So I but he's fast too. Like it's not like you can move like instantly. Like you see it it's like
Yeah.
a train, you know? There goes
Yeah.
Angel getting laid out, even though this was he said he wanted to be the one to get us on top and
That
now
was a
he's
good boot
laid
there,
out
buddy. That was a
on the
nice big
outside.
boot. Give yourself some offense. I mean, that was some nice versatility
I'm
you showed
trying.
me.
I said I'm gonna do this for Gabe, and then I tried, and then Rad
Well,
Dad
you were setting up for the cutter, and I think that was a little too early.
a little too early. I try. I mean, Papa Bear, he was standing there. You know, it's like he
I
wanted to get
know,
hit
but
by it. And who am I to say
Brad was
no
like right on the
to a
left hand
rolling
side. Yeah,
cutter? You know what I mean?
I know, but you didn't, you couldn't see the left side,
Like
but there, Brad hit you with his own, and that was a very nice, reversal there. But unfortunately, our condolences to you because you did take the L there, and
that
I,
hurt. I will be
my
honest.
condolences to you.
That's not fun to take. I
Yeah, I
will
could
say.
see that. Yeah, that's definitely not what we had hoped for. I mean, we were thinking, all right, maybe Cash is going to get a big win. He timed this, maybe this is right for his return to being, in action other places, his debut on Sportswire, and this is exactly what he's got planned for us. But unfortunately, Angel was nowhere in sight, and you were in the middle of that ring, staring up at the lights, and it was 1, 2, 3. Stepdads get a victory.
I mean, I feel like if Angel was just a little bit conscious, like, because I was left in a 2-on-1. So, I mean, yes, I did lose, but, like, I can only do so much by myself. And then notice how Broadway Joe is a nice cheerleader when Angel's in, but then when it's me, like, I don't get any distractions, anything. So it
Yeah.
just felt like going in, like, there was something I didn't know about. And that
Mm.
becomes transparent at the end of the match because right at the end like he just forces me in a corner and Broadway Joe stole my cane like but he's old so I
Well, I mean,
forgive him
I guess then safe
maybe
to
he
say
needs it.
Broadway Joe and you aren't going to be, let's just say, exchanging Christmas cards, or let's say
Nah, he stole my
being.
pimp cane, Tom. Like we're
It ain't
like
easy.
MJ said, where the hoes at, but I can't do that if I ain't got no
Well,
cane.
I mean, obviously it ain't easy. I mean, it ain't easy.
Yeah, well, pimping has never been easy, Tom.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you could attest to that, but Broadway Joe definitely, he's not a happy man right now. He's just not happy. I mean, he's just not happy. And Angel is walking out, and Angel's definitely upset, and he's just not even looking at you. And I guess it's just a continuation of your history together. And I guess hopefully you come back to Pure Vanguard Wrestling is all I could say.
I'm definitely going back. I don't take this laying down, but
Oh,
what
good.
Angel has showed me over these 2 years is that even though I've grown as a wrestler,
You
I've
have.
not grown as a person because I just can't
No,
seem to
you grow.
forgive Angel Santiago. I can't forgive Angel Santiago. I can't forgive Leonidas. There's just something in there that I don't know if it's spite, but I just need to move past these people from my past. And until I do, I don't think I'll ever be able to grow past the ceiling that I'm currently at. I need to get past these 2 pillars, knock them down, and then I can finally build my own foundation. Do you get what I'm saying?
I definitely get what you're saying. I will say that one of those parts you'll be able to potentially move past on September the 7th at the TF Cruise upcoming show, Day of Atonement. The second part of that, that's a question that I'll certainly ask Angel Santiago when he's back on Sportswire Radio Labor Day, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Some people say it's the end of summer. Some people say it's not. At the very least, it is the end of the Labor Day weekend, and Angel Santiago does make his long-awaited return to Sportswire Radio on Labor Day next Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll ask Angel Santiago about tag teaming with you. And I'll ask him about some of the things you've said here tonight. And I am sure, knowing Angel Santiago, he will give a different response. And I'm sure you will
Of
have
course.
a feeling or two on that that'll be different than Angel Santiago's. How does that sound?
Of course, and if I have to pop in and say this to his face, I will, because I
You
feel
know,
like
that would
it's
be
been a matter
interesting.
of time.
I can send you the link. I mean, if you would like a link, I mean, we're certainly, you are Castorr, and we are in the life of Castorr, and I'm not going to certainly turn that down if that's something you feel necessary. We just won't tell Angel. We won't clip this part for Angel, but
Yeah,
we'll have to.
Angel.
Yeah, we'll tell him. We'll tell him. We'll tell him. Well, not the part coming in, but we'll tell him that he's coming back to Sportswire next Monday, and we won't tell him the part where you're going to show up and maybe give him
Perfect.
a few words. Yeah, pretend we're not live right now, so just pretend that nobody heard that. Don't worry. Nobody heard that. And
Right, you
Angel
guys
will
don't
be on here.
snitch. I
Yeah.
believe in chat. Don't snitch.
Well, you know what? There's an old expression. I grew up in Brooklyn. They said snitches who snitch get stitches, and they end up in ditches. If you're a snitch, you will get a stitch, and you will end
Yeah,
up
I've
in
heard of
ditches.
that one.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I used to be told all the time, growing up in Brooklyn. And I didn't listen to that advice. No, I wasn't in that situation. But Angel Santiago is going to be here next Monday night, Labor Day, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we're not going to tell him about the point that Castorr is going to come on next Monday at some point in the stream and give him a few minutes of his mouth. But yeah, we're in the life of Castorr here. We'll get to the chat in a minute. We'll get to everybody. But if you are here, hit the sub button for RSMP Wrestling for pure Vanguard shows and check them out. We really appreciate that. And we definitely want you to support them. But I did want to ask you, Pro Wrestling Venom, I saw you were in the ring also for not too long ago. I have that video up, and you have a little bit, at least more of a positive experience in Pro Wrestling Venom.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Philly's trash, like I love everywhere I wrestle, and then we go to Philly, and then
what's it about Philadelphia? Because I have actually, believe it or not, never been to Philadelphia. I've never been there. You know what? I have no idea.
It stinks. The people are rude. Like, it's just.
Sounds like
the
New York,
food's not even all that good. Like,
so you haven't
Connecticut is.
You haven't had the Philly cheesesteak. The Philly cheesesteak's not so good there. The hoagies they rave about. No.
I think it was just the timing too, but it's Philly. I'd left pure Pro Wrestling Venom around like 3-4 a.m.
Oh my god!
Went to go get some cheesesteaks, and they were horrible. So
wow,
just
I've never had a cheesesteak in my life, so I'm taking your advice on it.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Hot take, everybody. The Philly cheesesteak is not as good as people says it is. I think I went to the wrong place.
I never thought it was. I just never, but it's not really a thing in New York City. When I was growing up in Brooklyn, it was never like a demand for Philly.
Yeah, right.
It was never. I don't know. My mom didn't when she cooked. It was never Philly cheesesteak. My neighbor's cousin owned a hot dog cart for 20 years. I mean, it never occurred to me. But let's talk more about Philly and talk about your wrestling experience there.
Yeah, so we were in the trash part of Philly, and then we come and we do this actually unique and creative thing. I'll give some credit. We had a rave/wrestling show, and we combined it two into one. I've never had an experience like that before, but it was very unique to say the least. Yeah,
that's pretty
fun.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I got to meet Larry Legend. I've seen a couple of people back there that it was just like, wow, like Riley Crow, Philly Mike. Like it was cool to be in that locker room and meet those people. But it was even more cool to show them what I was capable of.
And by the way, wrestling your tag team partner at NEW, who you've wrestled a lot.
I mean, hey, what did I say about time? They said doesn't heal wounds. Well, maybe time healed this one, because I think we just got off on the wrong foot, because once we got into NEW, we found some common interests, and now you see how far we've went with it.
That's true. Yeah, you guys have been really. I mean, we'll talk about that on the other side of the chat, but it's funny because Leonidas and you have this history. You can't get out of each other's ways. I spoke about Angel, but Christopher, you've got a long history with him, but yet you've been able to find that a common bond. So, why different?
I think it's just different personalities. I'll just say Christopher Black is a better person than Angel is. Angel is a scumbag, and he will never
no
change.
Comment. I'm saying no comment.
So I think it's just like with time, like he's just become a better person, and we've mended. You know what I mean? Whereas with Angel, he's never changed. So of course we're still not gonna get along if you're still the same person you were 2 years ago. So
Well, I mean, that could be. That could be. I
we
mean, but
finally met, and in this match, it was not even anything personal towards C Black. Really, it's just this is another day at the office. Like I'm in a new company. They want me to shine and do caster things, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to get paid and look pretty while doing it. And I think that's what I
you
did that
do
day.
look like that. You should definitely be in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Yeah, you're one of these guys. I've said it since I don't know over a year now. You are definitely built to be in a venue like this, wrestling in front of people with bright lights and all that stuff behind you. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I've
I
said it
appreciate that, man.
countless times, so I'll keep saying it.
The day I was born, it was already pre-written destiny.
You know what? You might be. Listen, there are some people in this world that they had the gift of gab. They were born with charisma. And you listen, when you came into this world, it probably was that way for you. What do I know?
I mean, I think I'm doing all right so far. We've made it somewhere.
I think so. And you're in Pro Wrestling Venom and you're wrestling and you're also in the ring with somebody else that's also a legend.
Yeah,
That's also
look at me
certainly.
trying to choke out Doc Holliday. I mean, old man eventually, but my tag partner
Well, I mean,
was
listen,
smart.
get
Smart.
him in the middle of the ring and choke him out. You got the size, you got the length.
Right. He
I mean,
wasn't
why
going
not?
anywhere. If it wasn't for C Black, it would have been over. But
Now
and
Christopher
then
Black is the Connecticut Crippler, and he has made
yeah,
hardcore and deathmatch wrestlers certainly cry uncle. It used to be hardcore and deathmatch wrestlers. We'll leave that at that. But
yeah,
obviously, Christopher Black is one of those guys that I could see why you would be aligning yourself with because he is very good. And, he's talked about in the past his background. You may be born for the bright lights. You may be born to be on a big stage, but this man was born to be in a ring, literally born
right.
to be in a ring. He's got boxing experience. He's
Mm-hmm.
got wrestling experience, and he's also got mixed martial arts experience. He's literally the definition of a triple threat in a fighting sense because he was born in a ring. This guy's got there might be nobody around that has the kind of experience like him.
Right. I will say it is nothing but a W to have a guy like that on your side, but when you're standing across from him, it's like, ooh, you're in for a long night.
This guy is like
So
Kurt Angle out there. This guy, I mean, he's like one of those types where he can get you
right.
in any way possible. I mean, he can beat you in the middle of the ring with a submission. He can just out wrestle you. He can also throw a
It's
punch or
scary
two.
sometimes, man. And he's
Yeah,
not
I
slow
mean,
either. He's very quick. So
no,
it's like you gotta
no.
be able to know. You have to have a game plan.
That's why you're the Black and Brown Connection, and that's why you're the number one contenders to the AEW Tag Team Championships.
Right. See now, see Black here, like this is what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. He has the mental chess in the ring, but if you come in with a predetermined game plan already, and on top of that, I'm stronger than C Black. I mean,
Well,
just
we're not
those
going to
two.
tell him that. I think he left the chat, so we'll
I'll
just.
tell him that. He's my tag partner
Well,
for a
I happen
reason.
to
Yeah,
like him in the
he's
ring.
the.
So.
With that with that being said, I had the game plan ahead of time in the power game. All I had to do was use Doc Holliday as a distraction, and he's a very you can't ignore Doc Holliday when he's
Oh,
in the
I
ring. He's
know.
got 20
I
years
know.
in
Doc. I
experience.
know. Doc is
So
a legend too. I mean, Doc's
just
certainly
leaving him and Doc in the ring to mesh it up every now and then. They can beat me up and jump me a little bit, but you're not going to take your eyes off him.
But
And by
I
the
am
time
going
you're
to
not
have
taking
to
your eyes
ask
off
you
him, you
about
take your
Doc in
eyes
a
off
little.
me.
Because you brought Doc up, I am going to have to ask you about your friend LJ Wash's chances to take that tomorrow's End Championship from Doc Holliday in a little while because you did mention Doc, and obviously Doc is certainly a legend here in the GBYW and everything he's done, and I'm going to definitely get to that. But
Right.
you did get a big victory, and I do want to also tell everybody if you are here on Sportswire Radio, I'd like you to please support the TF crew. There's a lot of ways you can do that. Instagram, YouTube, Eventbrite. But let's support them right here first by hitting the sub button for the TF crew. And we'll put the Eventbrite page up because Castor's going to be a part of that action here coming up, so please support them. And yeah, Castor, you can go take a rest. You're a busy man. You have a phone call for an autograph session. You take that call here. But Castor, no joke, he actually has a phone call right now for a potential autograph signing tomorrow. So we'll plug the TF crew. Let's get to some people here in the chat while Castor starts planning for more money to make coming up here with these autograph signings. And you can see it's a real thing in the wrestling world. So first of all, let's go to Zilla. How you doing, Zilla? Good to see you once again. And Zilla, we are very happy to be here in prime time. Want to say hello to our friends in Christian Backyard Wrestling, CBW. That is CBW. Hello. I brought you to see. I know. Listen, you got the autograph signing. What, from 1 to 3? You're going to be signing at the Boys and Girls Club in Connecticut over there. That's where you're going to be signing autographs. Once again.
Yeah.
I know the deal.
That was one hell of a day.
Well, you know what? At least you weren't being insane that day. That was
being
funny.
insane almost got me mobbed by the children.
Well, you know,
brought the Roblox
better,
cards. I am a good guy.
All right, if it makes you feel better, I came out of a 7-Eleven yesterday, and these kids on bikes were like, "You Wolverine," and I said, "You want my autograph?" And then I said, "No, you're not getting it." And then they said something, and then I said things I shouldn't repeat on here, and then it was kind of funny. But yeah, we'll leave that at that. But listen, at least we went to Becky Lynch, where she helped a handicapped person, and then they said they didn't want her to win her next match, whatever it was. But yes, we're praying. We were praying for Castor to get a big victory over Leonidas. And yeah, we saw. I didn't see anything yet, but whatever. I'm here for Castor right now. Now I can get to some comments. Let's go. Obviously, hello. I think you know who this person is. So hello, nice to see you. There is your tag team partner. Obviously, ignoring the fact you pinned him in Pro Wrestling Venom. So excited about that.
That's personal.
Yeah, well, obviously it's going to be not personal either when you take those tag team championships when NEW returns from the DHC, because I'm sure that well, that's what it is. Hello to our friends here in the AWL, and thank you. They just returned to action as well in beautiful Alabama. Thank you so much. We'll be watching that when we're off the air. And Mr. Black is obviously very happy to see you, so thank you very much for that. We appreciate you. And hello,
partner. You need to hurry up and get on here as well. I'm not.
I would love to have him on if he would like to come on. Christopher Black is definitely on my radar. I mean, if he would like to come on next month, I mean, I would definitely bring him on, because he's the Connecticut Crippler, and he could actually make anybody that comes on here tap out. So yeah, right. And we just won't bring up the syndicate though with you. That's all. Just won't bring up the syndicate. Yeah. Now you're gonna go next question. Hello to my friend Mr. Ox McCoy, for our friends here in the IMF, where Gabe Sayers had stayed and is probably gonna focus on not coming to after what Omen Black did to him a few weeks ago. But no, we're only kidding. Hello to Ox. And yep, hello.
That was a great match to watch.
It was, but unfortunately for Gabe, he had to go back from Iowa to Connecticut afterwards. Just saying. So.
Yeah. Shout out to him. He's like, everything he's been through, especially with the heart and stuff, and still trucking like this. Like, there's not many people that can question his toughness. Like, he's up
absolutely. Yeah.
With
I mean, I actually met him. I met him in real life. I spent about 7.5 minutes with him. I met him in Grand Central. He was actually getting
I saw that photo. Yeah.
Yeah. I met him, and he's a real thing. And I met him. I was really sick that day, and I was like, "You sure you want to meet me?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "What if I get you sick? You just went to the doctor." He's like, "No, I don't care." And it was like, we met, and it was fun. It was nice. I'll put the photo up later. Please buy a ticket for the TF crew.
Please.
To buying a TF
it's going to be such a banger event.
I cannot wait for that show. I am very excited. And there's MJ Sear, who repeats once again, where they at? Well, it's Friday night. The night is still young. So, I mean, listen, he may not have his cane right now, Castor, but I'm sure he can find a place or two.
Don't get it back. Don't you worry.
Oh, I'm sure you will. How you doing, MJ? So another man that maybe will come onto the platform, maybe a beer or two in his hand. Follow Castor on Instagram. Hello to my friend Abram Storm, the Thunderous One. There you go, Abram. Good to see you. Charlotte Mania's ahead this weekend. Thank you, Abram. Shout out to Gabe. Yes, shout out to him. I'm sure he's lurking somewhere. Making a Gabe Sayers NFL video. Gabe Sayers forgotten running back. Yeah.
Dude.
Do you watch those videos? You watch those videos? You watch them?
Oh yeah, I've watched most of them. I didn't watch the most recent one because I've been working a ton. But
I don't blame you. You're busy. You're making money in the world, you know.
Got to. That's what it's all about. I'm a businessman.
I don't blame you. I mean,
all of his videos I've watched, literally all of them. Forgotten the quarterbacks, Like it's forgotten
Yeah, we were
players. It's
talking
just
about
awesome.
quarterbacks for a few minutes on Monday's show, and I was talking
Yeah,
to him about some of the quarterbacks. We're talking about Kansas City Chiefs former quarterbacks, and his most recent show had running backs on there. He talked about running backs that people forgot about. But yeah, Gabe really researches his stuff. If you'd like to check out his videos, and maybe Castorr will beat him in Madden 26 this year. I think he will. I think he'll beat
absolute.
him.
How did you know? We've
You
already
mentioned
been
it during the
planning.
show. You said Madden 26, and Gabe, we know, is a
Yeah,
great
we've
Madden
been
player.
planning. He's going down. He's going down.
Why? Why do you think he's going? What do you know that you can beat him this time?
Well, first off, a lot of people don't know. I've played Gabe in WWE 2K
Oh,
and
really?
NBA 2K. I've beaten
Wow.
him in both, and I have no problems downloading Madden and exercising my dominance in gaming once again
You
and
should
beating
then.
him in
I
Madden.
think we would encourage that. I would encourage you to
Why not?
download Madden and play Gabe on Madden. I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I got to impose my will. I haven't played Madden, mind you, in about 10 years,
You
but
know, where
that
you and
doesn't
I
mean
are in the
anything.
same boat. I haven't played Madden since probably 2012. I mean, I did play NBA 2K for a little bit during COVID. My buddy Josh Bailey
Yeah.
in Brooklyn, we were playing NBA 2K for a while. I bought an Xbox One again, and I was playing, and then I just stopped playing. But yeah, I used to play Madden, but then I stopped in
Right.
2012. Responsibilities got in the way, and then I just didn't game for
Feel you. Like you
years.
grow up quick, don't you?
Yeah, I played Halo, I played Left 4 Dead, I played all the Maddens, I played all that stuff, and then I started making money, and then it was like I got into
Yeah, and the
politics, and it was
business is
like, yeah.
better than fun.
Well, also my
Some
friends grew up. My friends moved away. One friend met a girl online in Canada, and then met another one in Arizona.
ah,
My other friend went to college. My cousin moved away. Who knows what happened to him? And this one left, and then that was it. My other buddy I ran into in the street the other day. I hadn't seen him in since 2012, and he was like, "You look the same." I'm like, "Yeah, and you don't." And, and we're friends on Instagram, and so yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, I hope you play him in Madden. Follow Gabe on his YouTube page. Castor's got an Instagram page. We're going to plug that as well in a few minutes. But also give a follow to RSMP. You can see some more future Vanguard wrestling shows from Castorr.
yes.
Hello
They've
to
done some
Princess
beautiful
Jade.
stuff.
She knows Gabe. She met him in the IMF, and she'll be here tomorrow as well. And how we're doing tonight? We're doing great. Castorr got an autograph signing for tomorrow. He's going to make some money from 1 to 3 at the Boys and Girls Club in Connecticut. Go out there and check it out in Meriden. And definitely he will give a discount to those that are here on Sportswire Radio for his autograph. I got a good one here, though. My buddy told me Philly cheesesteak is classically cheese whiz, so I believe it. Sounds awful. Is it? I don't know. Is it really that? Is it really that? I mean, I don't know if it looks like that.
It's not better than a classic steak and cheese from here, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Like, if you're gonna drive 4 hours, well, for me, it's a 4 hour drive. If I drive 4 hours and pay almost $20 for something that sucks, of course I'm gonna not be too happy and have a fond memory of. So I'm not really in a rush to give them a chance next time I'm out there. But all the hype just isn't worth it. And if I'm the outcast that thinks that it's bad, then so be it. I'll stand on this hill.
Well, you know what? Listen, even for me, Philly is from my house, it's probably about almost 3 hours. Yeah, it's almost about 3 hours to drive.
Now imagine driving 3 hours and going to eat something that is so hyped out. It's almost like on a pedestal. It's like iconic.
Yeah. I actually do have, I do have an experience with that. I had a buddy of mine that lived on Long Island, and he hyped up this place, the All American Burger. We all gotta go to the All American Burger. He hyped this place up for 2 years. We went there with a bunch of guys from my radio station at the time. We showed up. It took me about 2.5 hours to get there. Almost two, and it was just like a nightmare to get there with traffic. I go to this place, and it was like a dud.
Right?
It was like McDonald's on steroids. Oh my God, the burger! It's so great! Gotta have it! And we went there, and it was so hot, and the burger was just. Wendy's would have been better. So yeah, I've had that experience. I've had that experience. So yeah, thank you. Hit the sub button for the TF crew while you're here. We'd appreciate that. Welcome back. Hit the sub button for Gabe, and she'll be here. Anthony Steele's on here tomorrow at 8:30. And no, Justin Parsley hasn't been here, but maybe that's because he's trying to run to Michigan. But, I do have something for you because I do want to talk about your music. I want to spend a few minutes on music, but I got something for you because I do have a gift because I realize it's not going to be Angel Santiago. It's not quite yet going to be Christopher Black, your tag team partner here, but maybe he'll come on here one of these days. But it's Castorr Day on all Sportswire radio platforms. Congratulations. So, I'm trying to make up for time. You can't change the past. You can't certainly look back, but you can only go forward. And I'm trying to go forward and move on with Castorr Day on all Sportswire radio platforms. So, congratulations, my friend. So, definitely we'll give you the physical copy when we're off the air. And it includes all of my platforms here: Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, sportswireradio.org, Tumblr, you name it, we're on there, and it's your day. So congratulations.
I appreciate that. And for Castorr Day, for all the people that's watching, the way I want you to celebrate is you're going to wear your best sunglasses when the time is right, and then you're going to wear your best cologne or perfume or whatever you have.
Well,
And
you know
that's how you
what?
can celebrate Castorr Day for me.
That sounds like our guest tomorrow, Anthony Steele. He comes on here every time in glasses, but that's exactly what he'll be doing tomorrow: putting on his cologne, putting on his sunglasses. So he's
Yeah.
celebrating Castorr Day early, and he wrestled Gabe Sayers, and Gabe Sayers beat him. So that's a great
Which was
great idea. Yeah, and you know what? So that's how he'll, in remembrance of you, in remembrance of Gabe, come on to Sportswire tomorrow
right.
and have those glasses on and have cologne. What a wonderful idea that he'll have.
He'll
So
be celebrating Castorr Day.
he
and
will be. You
I
know what?
appreciate him for it.
We do too, and he certainly did the honors for Gabe Sayers, and obviously he's doing the honors for you early. And boy, that's why you're a gentleman and a Rhodes Scholar. But all right, I want to. I'll come back to TF Crew. I'll come back to NEW here in a minute, but I do want to talk about something that you've done before even you've become a wrestler, and that's music. You've got some music you released recently. I have got a chance to listen to it, and talk to me about your inspiration in doing music and what got you into doing that, and just talk to me how those worlds maybe are similar and different.
So for music, I will say, I am comfortable wrestling, I am even more comfortable in music because it's something I've done all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I did grow up in a Christian church where we
Okay.
played keyboard and drum set, and then as I started to dabble into more music, playing more, getting more reps, I joined the band in school.
Nice.
In high school is when I really started to record like vocals because my school
Sure.
didn't have a band and I was kind of falling out of the church. So
Mm.
when I got into high school, I was like, all right, well, we can still make this music thing happen because that was always the biggest part that stuck with me.
Mm.
So that's when I started recording music. In around, well, let's go back. In around 2017 to 2018, I started making beats. I was making
Okay.
beats. That was pretty fun, but I wouldn't make so many because it's like easier to like mass output those type of things.
Yep.
I was getting too many to the point where not enough people were able to rap on them. Like I would send
Oh,
people like 20 beats and I'd get sent back like 5, maybe 10 songs. And it's
that's
like
not
there's
good.
still more. So I'm like, all right, well, I gotta finish some of these, or someone does. And that's how
Sure.
it started in 2019, and then it kind of like switched. Then I started making less and less beats, but I started recording more and more music. And now here we are in 2025, where it doesn't seem like I'm not releasing a lot, but I have a lot in the vault. I'm just been focused on wrestling a lot.
Yeah, it's hard. No, listen, I mean, it's to be able to do both. I've had different people on. I've interviewed a lot of different musicians. I've had on a lot of R&B artists. I've had a rapper or two before in the past, so I understand what's that like. So, I mean, what's some of your inspirations? And you have a single that came out about 6 months ago, Ghost. You've
Hmm.
had some other music you've released on your YouTube channels. I'm going to put that link up here shortly. I have your Instagram handle up here for the minute. So talk to me about your inspiration for your most recent single.
For my most recent single, so my friend was actually going through an argument with his girl. Um, so it was one of those things where sometimes when I have lack of motivation for things in my life or music, I kind of listen to others and see
Sure.
if, like, all right, well, if they're venting, let's see if I could put this in a song form for somebody else that probably relates to this. It
Hmm.
was one of those days where I already had recorded a song and I just wanted to get one more done so I could be like, yeah, I was productive today. And I was kind of stuck. Like I had the beat in front of me, but I was stuck on the song. And then I hear him in the background, and as he's talking, like a light bulb slowly starts to dim off in my head. I'm like, huh, I know what you're going through. And then I go, I'll be right back, Kyle. And then I hang up and then just record for about an hour or two and then finish
Wow.
that. And then I'm like, all right, well, we got ourselves a song. He actually just helped me make another song, which will be coming out shortly.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, we can definitely talk about that. When you come back onto sports, right? Yeah, it's so funny that you said that because sometimes when because I've interviewed a lot of musicians, all different genres, and sometimes artists they get inspired whether they're on the road or they just performed or it's not even something that they did from their own right. They just get inspired by so many different ways. And sometimes that's like a musician. My dad played the drums, and my dad used to always write. All he'd do is sit there and he would write. And sometimes you can come up with so many things at once and then not come up with anything for months. And that's kind of how it goes sometimes in music. There are
Yeah,
some that's just, that's the way it goes.
I've definitely had less productive years than others, but I'd say out of 2019 to now, last year and this year have been like neck and neck as most productive years. Like I have a lot of songs in the vault. I have a label with my friends called The Talentless Music. We were looking over it the other day. I'm at around 60 to 70 unreleased songs.
Wow.
I gotta put them out.
Well, I mean, if anything I can do, I mean, I've interviewed different people, and the door is always open to talk to different artists. And what's that like then, being able to have your own music production company and a label, Talentless Music? What's that side of things like? What is that?
Um, like wrestling, it's hard work.
Yeah,
It's
obviously. Listen,
it's
I know a
different.
lot
Like
about the music business, so yeah, that's
yeah,
goes without
like
saying.
just getting the timing and getting making sure everyone's on the same page. I'm victim to it too. Like I've had times where they're like, "Yo, listen, people haven't been recording. I need you to record this song and release something this month or by this month." It's like,
Sure.
sure, and then like I just lose track. Like I'll go to GTS 2 weeks in a row, and then come home and be like, "Oh, I forgot. You said you're supposed to release that. Like, sorry." But other than that, like owning it yourself, it's fun because you don't have to like worry about answering to like a corporate. You know what I mean? Like it
Yes,
feels like a
yeah.
friendship, a relationship.
You're cutting out the middleman. You're dealing directly with the artist. You're
Mm-hmm.
responsible for your own destiny, and
Right.
you're having the ability to make a profit that's fully your own and the artist. Whereas with the label, I've had on a lot of artists that have sold millions, and you hear the stories. People think, oh, this artist sold 1 million, that's artist sold 2 million, and they made 2 million. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? They didn't make that much. If they were lucky, the
Right.
way the music. Well, I'm going to tell the audience this, and you probably know this already because you know a lot about music. I can see most artists, unless you have a very, very good record deal, you only make, if you're lucky, out of every dollar, like pennies on the dollar. We're talking
Mm-hmm.
like, if you're getting an album that sold 2 million records, realistically, you made 20,000, 30,000 on the record. Then that's just your
Right.
cut. You have other people that wrote the song or were in the group and you put it and broke it down into fours. So realistically speaking, until you have a really, really big hit and a really big list of selling albums, you're not making any money because you got to pay the producer, you got to pay the label back because they fronted you money to go into the studio, they
Mm-hmm.
fronted you money to go out there and put it up for the promotional and the tour. So, yeah, that's why you want to really, if you can, make music and make money doing it yourself because the record
Right.
industry, the record labels just you're not going to make any money realistically speaking.
That's why you see a lot of artists doing like a lot of things. Like they don't just release the music. You see like a
No.
bunch of social media posts,
Yep.
brand
Yep.
deals, appearances on YouTube, shows. Like they try as much as they can to get money from other outlets because it's not
Yep.
gonna be just from mainly music.
Yeah, the
But
record
we're trying to
label is
avoid that.
just yeah, they're not gonna you're not gonna get the money that you used to. So really you got to go out there and if you can make some money on tour, like you said, do some stuff with commercials, do some stuff on ads. But if you do want to hit the sub button, Cash has got a couple of YouTube channels, but his most recent single is here. And I
Hmm.
gave you 4 subs, by the way. So you got 4 from me. Now we can
Thank
get
you.
everybody else to give you a sub, and that would be great. And we'll certainly come back to some of that music and be on the lookout for Castor's new music via his Instagram page. So we'll certainly
Right.
put some more links about that. But before I get to NEW and TF Crew, before we sign off here, give me your experience of being in GTS. A lot of you have been in GTS, and that I know is like the complete opposite of what we just talked about with the record labels, because GTS is heard in front of millions. They are seen on a regular basis in front of millions. And, what's that been like in being a part of GTS?
GTS is a roller coaster when you go in. You get a lot of interesting personalities like in one spot. So you see a lot of interesting interactions throughout your time there. There's no place like GTS, I will
Yeah.
say. I love going there though, the matches that we get to have and the platform that it provides with all the people's eyes that are on it, and the fans are the fans, man. They're some of the most interesting fans I've ever met out of any company that I've wrestled in. Like they're very diehard and they're very
They're the
serious
seventh
about their
biggest wrestling
GTS.
company on YouTube in the world,
Right.
really, because that's how big their footprint is. I mean, that's just in itself tells you how large that fan base is,
They are some diehards. My goal so far since I've been going to GTS is to get them to spell my name right. Because every time I go on Twitter or the comments, like I just see so many variations of my name. So now when I go there, I make it like an effort to like bring that up. I'm like, my name is spelled CASTORR.
I saw that. I saw that.
And
I
I don't stop until they get it right. And until they get it right, I will do this for years and years to come.
Well, I mean, hopefully after this that they learn to spell your name right, because that's the most important thing. And I famously interviewed a baseball player years ago, and I never forget the person who set the interview up for me. You'll laugh. He was actually, at the time, he wound up being a semi-important player, and the person who set the interview didn't tell me how to say his name, and I kept saying his name wrong the entire interview. So it's important to say the people's name, but being a part of GTS and seeing many of your comrades in TF Crew, and it's almost deja vu. Many of you have certainly been there, and that's obviously Gabe was the hardcore champion not too long ago. Christopher Black wrestled TF Crew versus GTS, and Doc's been a part of it a bunch of times. I mean, a lot of you in the TF Crew have been a main focal point in GTS.
Yeah, I've faced some interesting people. I've faced Leonidas, Doc, Gabe, like you said, C Black, like you said, Kuma is in there. We got an opportunity to fight for the GTS Tag Championships against the Chinis. That was a cool moment. So going to GTS, it's like you never know what to expect. You could be either fighting the people who are closest to you, or you can fight someone you've never fought ever, and that's what makes it so unique. Because like I said, you got all these interesting people just kind of meshing together, and you're just like, let's see how these interactions go. And I think that's why their fans are so diehard, because there's nothing else like it. Like it's such a unique experience.
Very unique. You have to give, whether you like GTS or watch it regularly, you have to give GTS all the credit in the world, because to get that reach,
absolutely.
I mean, you're talking 30, 40, 50,000 views of video. I mean, you're talking that kind of reach, and you've been a part of that. And a lot of you have been a huge part of what GTS has had to offer. And that's why we really are excited about the future of GTS. And we're just not going to tell Rad Dad that he's not wrestling in GTS anymore after losing the Intercontinental title there. But we won't bring it up to Gabe again that he lost to the Body his hardcore championship. But we did bring it up to him on Monday's show. Yeah, there was some fun moments there. And it's kind of funny. A couple of wrestlers from another company in the underground showed up to GTS last year. It was from DBW. It was Austin James, it was Jay Luther, and then it was Austin James's brother showed up there. So they talked about kind of maybe, I think it was actually the run when you guys weren't there. They showed up August of last year. They were like, they loved it. They were like, I've watched the product. I've been a fan of it. And they were, the guys there were really, really honored to be a part of that opportunity, but which is great. And I want everybody to follow GTS, but I got to talk about NEW here for a few minutes, because I have Rhea Silver coming on, who you've beaten the ring not too long ago. I have to bring that up. She'll be here in your chair 2 weeks from now. But you, and speaking of Christopher Black, are the #1 contenders to those tag team championships here in NEW. And I have your match synced up there. And it looks like you found a partner and you might be on the verge of some championship gold here eventually when that time comes. And talk to me about what's clicked here in NEW.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it sounds like a random pairing, and then you guys get in the ring together, you start talking and walking together, and we're like, what took us so long? Like the chemistry, it just makes it so easy. Like when we're in there, from the unicorn stampedes to the way we come out with our entrance, where you need to see B2B, the black and brown connection.
I
Like
do like
everything we
that, by the
do,
way. It rings off the tongue. I got to tell you, it rings off the tongue.
businessman, brother. That's how
I
we
could
get
see
money
that. You're
around here.
definitely a
No,
businessman. You definitely are a good. You're
but
good. You know how to market. I can tell you that much.
that's what makes me and C Black so good. I think our relationship is like, hey, you're the technical prowess. You can show me something there. I know how to make the money. I can show you something there, and together it's just a win-win situation. And win-win is what's gonna happen next time we tag together because we're gonna win those tag team titles.
You know, you do want to laugh. There's actually, I'm going to say this on the air, and I hope that they won't hear this, but there's actually a market research company called Win Win. And there's actually no joke. There's a market research company called Win Win, and I've made some money with them in the past. And that's what they do. They look for people to get involved in advertising campaigns to market things. And you definitely are winning with Christopher Black. And we see you here. Speaking of Kobo, and I did have to throw that in there. But this is your most recent match there in NEW, and you know, you guys are on the verge of something. But you know, the DHC, they're always a topic. You know, Reyes Silva is going to talk about that in 2 weeks. Jake Dvorak was here. He certainly had his own problems with Doc Holliday of late. Be Insane lost his championship to your good friend Gabe Sayers. So I
That
guess
was a
you think
moment.
then, since Be Insane lost his world under his undisputed championship, that you guys should be on the verge of winning those tag team championships and take further away from the DHC, I would think.
Absolutely, and I need to remind you because I might be a double champ because I also most recently beat Joe Star to become the number one contender for Gabe's
Yeah.
title. So
Yeah.
not only do I think I'm gonna win these tag titles, but my friend Gabe, when it comes down to it, and we inevitably meet, I feel like I'm gonna take that belt off him too. Now I know how much it means to him because
We spoke
it's been a
about that on
long time
Monday's show.
coming.
Yep. We spoke about that on
Yeah, so
Monday's
many
show.
years,
But
but
let
that
me
doesn't
ask
mean
you,
that NEW. Go ahead,
well,
go ahead.
look, I mean, that's a good point. I want to come back to that, but I mean, that opportunity to be a double champion, I mean, is that something you're starting to think about a lot more now?
When the opportunity presents itself and the opportunity is here, it's like it's almost like in the formation, it's like, hey, you tagged
Sure.
with C Black, you got this win, here's the number one contendership. Okay, now you go against Joe Star and I beat him, now there's a number one contendership. It's almost like it's lining itself up for me. You know
The
what I'm
stars are
saying? Like
aligning. The stars are
the
aligning.
stars are aligning, and who am I not to capitalize?
No, and you know what? You definitely look like you're straight out of Central Casting. I say it time and time again. You should certainly hold a championship there. And obviously, for your career, everything is lining up. So you've got to stay focused. You've got to stay out there. We know NEW is returning 2 weeks from tomorrow with the All Out War 11. And what do you envision yourself doing there? I mean, obviously, I spoke a little bit about with Jake. Jake had mentioned the DHC will all be in the All Out War match. It'll be obviously announced, I'm sure, what you would do potentially, but I would imagine we'll be seeing you or you might be paying a visit there to All Out War 11, I would think, right?
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna see me at All Out War 11. I come in to do what I always do, which is make make myself look pretty and also try and get a win. So when I come out to All Out War, I'm not worried about DHC. Like I said, I've already beaten Rhea. Tyson Spade, I need to get my revenge on Tyson Spade.
And you
Even
beat Joe
though,
Star. You beat Joe Star.
right,
Certainly
I've
a
beaten Joe
different Joe
Star.
Star that I used to have on you. He's definitely different, you
Yeah,
know.
shocking, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, John
Jake.
Cena, everybody was shocked about him, and I guess Joe Star got a consultation from John Cena how to shock the world because apparently those two just met not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean that was a crazy photo. I wonder how much Joe Star paid to go meet John Cena.
Well,
I am
well,
curious
you
about
know
that
what?
number.
I actually thought John Cena was the one that paid to get a photo with Joe Star, but I'll leave that at that when Joe Star comes back on the
Joe,
Sports Fire.
John Cena must be off his rocker.
Well, you know
Um,
what? Maybe it's the hair transplanting guy. I don't know, but
yeah,
you did. Yeah,
maybe.
but I mean, but that is so fascinating that you got this all out war match coming up. You've got the opportunity to win some gold. It's almost all
Right?
right in front of you. In some ways, you're kind of like the next in line. You know, Joe Starr came on here last year. We were talking about Joe Starr, and he was right there. He was knocking on the door, and he finally got through the door. We saw what Joe Starr did up until, well, you can call it what you want a couple of months ago. And you're another one of these guys, Kuma. You talked about
Until he
Kuma. He's
sold
another
out.
one of those guys that's
Hmm.
right at the door, and we saw what he did. He's got the briefcase, and now he's got a championship belt. So in some ways, you're kind of like the next in line for guys here in NEW that you've been building, you've been working, you've been putting the work in, you've shown up, you've put out, and now it seems to me like you might be ready to take that next step, just like a Kuma, just like a Joe Star. Do you feel that same way?
I feel like it's been a long time coming. 2 years I've been trying to improve more and more every time I step in a ring. But gold has always eluded me. But I was never in it for the gold because I have like bigger goals. Like it's like who do I want to be remembered as? What do I want my legacy to be? And if it's just championships, like you know what they say, the belt doesn't make the man makes the belt, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't really worried about it. But now I'm not gonna act like it doesn't itch, doesn't eat away at me that it's been 2 years. I've crossed all these companies and I've barely even had opportunities at gold. Never mind not winning it. I've barely had the opportunity to even compete for it. But I think I'm starting to change that narrative. And it all starts at events like All Out War and Day of Atonement.
I feel like though that it's only a matter of time. I know you could say, yeah, I wasn't focused on winning championship gold, but at the end of the day, this is a dog eat dog sport. Everybody's
Amen.
focused on winning. Everybody's focused on being in the very top. Yeah, I'm
Right.
not going to show Leonidas there for you because I know we're going to get to him anyway. I'm going to segue to him as our last topic here, going back to the beginning of the show. But listen, there's no question at the end of the day that you want to be the top in our sport. And the top includes holding championship
Absolutely.
gold. And you've got that opportunity to be a double champion. I think that's really what's most fascinating. You've got a chance to win tag team gold. I think you at the Black and Brown Connection are one of the very best up and coming tag teams right now in the circuit. We'll see what happens with Gabe in that undisputed championship. Obviously, that's something that time will tell. You've got the all out war match. So right now, I mean, listen, I think you're on the verge of being guys like Kuma and Joe Starr and D Savage a few years earlier. Look at where D Savage is now. And I think you're
Yeah.
that next line of wrestlers that is going to go there and have gold. And I think that that's why you want to support NEW. We've talked a lot about NEW this week. Obviously, Gabe being the undisputed champion, Jake is the Northeast champion, the All Wrestling Matters hardcore champion. And the way you can get in touch with NEW and support them is by going to their YouTube page, hitting the sub button for them. We'll also have more coverage of NEW here 2 weeks from today with Rhea Silver, who certainly Castorr knows, and Castor's gotten a victory over. So it's certainly going to be a very interesting, long anticipated episode with Rhea Silver. First time she'll be here, just like Castorr is. So that's what it's about, giving people those opportunities. And it's Castorr Day here. So please make sure that you support Castorr, and we'll give him the physical copy when we're off the air. But all right, I want to talk for the remaining minutes about NEW. I want to come back to Leonidas, but I do want to ask you about Doc Holliday and LJ Wash. We were talking a lot about that. Your boy LJ Wash is going up in there. I was talking with Jake a little bit about that. So, like, what do you see here as to why LJ Wash is going to win against the one and only Doc Holliday?
I mean, because LJ Wash is, first of all, Doc Holliday is an old man. It's just a miracle that his bones haven't caught up to him during this title run. It's been a long title run
Well,
for.
it has
He
been.
just turned 40 recently. He's old. He's
He
getting
is
up there.
he's definitely getting ready to file Social Security, get his AARP
Absolutely.
card.
AARP, it's already I know what I'm
Medicaid,
gonna
we
get him
have
for
Medicaid in
Christmas.
Connecticut. Maybe he's looking to file
Right.
Medicaid, get those benefits and Social Security, all that stuff. He's obviously looking for those things, and maybe he's hopefully got a pension wherever he's worked, because I don't think NEW and TF Crew give pensions to their wrestlers. But
Nah, no lifetime retirement for him.
yeah, well, I always joke with people that maybe he'll get it in the next life, but I mean, but that's why his days are numbered. And the irony, right, Castor, of Doc Holliday being the tomorrow's end champion, well, when really his career could end tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Isn't that like, man, listen, I know what I'm gonna get for Doc Holliday. I'm trying to find it now. I have a confirmation of it.
Yeah, well, I got the
I
photo. I
ordered
got the
him for
photo of
Christmas.
LJ Wash and Doc Holliday, which I'm going to put up here in about 60
Please do.
seconds. That I got the photo, and I got it here for you. And I mean, so this
That's
should be a walk in the park for LJ Wash, the old
Yeah, he
broken.
has the age advantage. I think LJ Wash is just a tad bit faster, stronger, and today is a young man's game. Now, wrestling is one of those sports where you can wrestle for a very long time and still achieve a high level. I mean, we
Yep,
have seen, CM Punk.
Ric
Ric
Flair
Flair was
certainly
known for
still
doing
wants to
it.
wrestle out
Yep.
there. The
I don't know
Undertaker
why.
certainly. Yep, there's
Yeah,
Jeff
like people
Jarrett
have done
still
it
out there. Chris
for a long.
Jericho.
Chris
Yeah,
Jericho, right?
Chris
People have
Jericho's
done it
out
for a
there.
long time
Yeah.
at a high level,
Yep.
but I just feel like Doc is going in a little too fast, swimming in the
But
deep
well, you know
waters.
what they always say, right? Father Time is undefeated.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's only a matter of time before Doc loses the title. And I think LJ Wash is the perfect opponent to do it. I mean, he has the charisma, and I know that LJ is not going to be afraid of Doc. And I think that's the biggest thing because Doc usually during that entrance has that little intimidation. You hear the crowd chanting his name,
Because
he has
guys have
this
watched
aura around
him.
him.
Guys have watched him. They look to him as a
Right.
leader. They know the name. They know him from this place and that place. And he does
Correct.
have a win over Jimmy Controversy, who we talked a lot
Hmm.
about earlier this week. And I mean, Doc is a legend. He's kind of the Undertaker of the TF Crew in NEW almost.
Right. So I think that's what also gets people like they have this fear, this underlying because Doc has aura. I will
Yes, he
admit the
does.
old man
Yes.
does have aura, but I don't think LJ is gonna care about that. I think he's gonna come in, he's gonna try and take care of business because that's why we relate. We're both businessmen,
Yep.
and you can't have fear when you're trying to make money.
No, absolutely.
It's a
Listen, you got to
fearless
go out there
business.
and you got to just go out there and do it. Maybe that serves LJ well in this because he's not going to really care about the past and what Doc
Right.
Holliday has done. He's not going to think about, oh, this is who he is. He's just going to go out there and take care of business. And sometimes that's the way
Right.
to do it. You talked about football earlier, playing Gabe and then NBA 2K. And, all the good teams have to win on the road. You think about the
Hmm.
NBA, right? All those teams that we remember as the dynasty teams could go out there and win in environments that they're not accustomed to. And LJ, from what you're telling me, Castor, he's comfortable in an environment and in a match that Doc Holliday is going to certainly have to his advantage. And because he's got no fear and he's just going to go out there and he's not worried about anything, like those good teams in sports, he'll go out and take that tomorrow's end championship from Doc Holliday, from what you're saying.
This is how I'll put it. Just
All
because
right.
it's an away game for LJ Wash, that doesn't mean he's the underdog. If you're putting a parlay on, I feel like LJ is definitely the over here,
Yeah.
and you'd be stupid not to make some easy money during this match.
That sounds like Papa Bear's language there. We need to let Papa Bear know that. But I mean, but let me ask you though. I mean, maybe you might be right because in NEW, Be Insane has a victory over Doc Holliday recently. Jake Dvorak just
Hmm.
figured out Doc Holliday, and maybe then Doc's days are numbered. Maybe he really is on borrowed time. So from what you're saying tonight, you're
Hmm.
very confident that LJ Wash is gonna wash away Doc Holliday's run as the TF Crew tomorrow's end champion, and that's what'll wind up happening. It'll be his own day of atonement.
I have a prediction that he's gonna whoop Doc so bad that LJ is just gonna get out the ring and have an entire concert. Like intermission's gonna hit early. He's gonna have a concert, and then once he's done, he's gonna come back and then put away the old man for good and win the
I've seen
title.
that in
So,
different places with LJ, right? LTW, he's done that, and
yep.
some other places. So maybe you could go out there and drop a bar or two also. I mean, obviously you've
Hey,
performed. You're a
we've
very
made a song
successful artist.
together before. Why not
Yeah.
do it again?
So I mean, the song could be about well, tomorrow's end upcoming of Doc Holliday's run as the TF Crew tomorrow's end champion. You could certainly be talking about that.
Absolutely.
Some of the main lyrics would be Father Time is undefeated, and that you know the old man has to be taken back at the woodshed, and it's a dog eat dog world,
Right.
and Doc Holliday's about to have his day, and at the expense of Castorr and LJ Wash. That could be some of the lyrics. You could dress it up a bit. You can make it more
Absolutely.
catchy and make it more cool, but you can do those things. All right, we'll see about that. But I do want to come back to obviously your match here one more time and going back to Leonidas. And obviously it's an eagerly anticipated match. It's a match really that I think from what you've told us here tonight. Now I could be wrong. This is gonna finally put an end to over 2 years in the making between you and Leonidas back and forth, right? This is what you're telling me after everything we've heard tonight, that this match, this is basically going to end what you and him have been doing back and forth.
You know what they say, never start something you can't finish. And it started 2 years ago in a backyard in 2023 on a random day in June. And who would have thought that it would end 2 years later in 2025 in one of our biggest shows, Day of Atonement.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, Leonidas, this is gonna be one of the biggest matches of my career. Cause like I said, I've went to all these different companies, done all these different things, have all these great matches, but always he's right there with me, doing the same exact things, if not being in there with me. And I just want to remove this asterisk that I can be greater than this Leonidas feud. I can do bigger and better things. And that Leonidas is not all I'm going to be known for. I'm not going to be just known for this great TF Crew grudge feud that lasted for 2 years. So I need to put an end to it. And September 7th, I've been training. I've been all in, just focused on this match. I'm even inviting family out because I even want them to see
Wow.
the beginning of the end and the beginning of a resurgence for my career.
Wow, that's exciting. That family, this is how big a deal this is. That family is going to be watching you 2 weeks from Sunday. That tells you the importance of this match. And I kind of think you're right at the right place at the right time here, because tonight we've talked a lot about big matches with you. We talked about the fact you being the number one contender alongside Christopher Black and Brown connection for the NEW Tag Team Championships. Number one contender to the NEW Undisputed Championship. We showed you in the ring with Angel Santiago against the Stepdads. We talked about you getting a victory in Pro Wrestling Venom. We talked about what you've done in GTS. And I kind of think everything is a domino effect. Everything happens for a reason. The way things are lining up for your career, a victory here would almost be the exclamation point that Castorr has arrived. He's put the work in. Look at from where he was 2 years ago. Look at to where he is now. And look at where he'll be 2 years from even today. So there's no question that this is exactly the victory that you need. It's a stepping stone to even bigger and better things. You're going to have a big crowd. I have no doubt on the 7th. I think that we're going to be looking at like 100, 150 people easily there, because you guys, every show you do with the TF Crew, the crowds are bigger, the matches are better, the cards are even better. And I think that that's why everybody needs to go to the Eventbrite page. Everybody needs to go to the TF Crew socials and support what everybody's doing in part of the TF Crew. It's a great card. Castorr is going to be a part of that. And I always talk about Leonidas. I always talk about Leonidas, and he's one of those guys that you can't sleep on, but Castorr is going to put him to sleep. He's going to put him to sleep figuratively and literally here, coming up in a match that is 2 years plus in the making. All right. I know you're a busy man. I know you got an autograph signed for tomorrow, but let me ask you a couple more quick things. You have any final words for Leonidas before September 7th?
Leonidas, we've done this for 2 years, this dance. It almost feels like a slow burning tango. It just feels like it's a lesson that keeps rewinding itself over and over and over. There's a SpongeBob episode there where Squidward's teaching SpongeBob how to dance. and he just keeps doing it over and over, and it lasts for 15 minutes, but instead of 15 minutes, it's 2 years. But at the end of the episode, this is where it all ties in. At the end of the episode, SpongeBob is seen to be tired, down and out, weary. So Squidward seems to take over his spot. That's going to be you. You're going to be the Squidward role, Leonidas. You're going to go to your little concert and you're going to think, oh, well, I finally took SpongeBob's spot. I finally wore him out. And SpongeBob walks left to center stage, takes over his spot, and aces the audition, crushes Squidward's hopes and dreams. And I'm looking to derail the Alpha Leonidas. I admit that you're persevering. I already know who you are. We've been fighting for 2 years straight. I know that it's not going to be an easy task. I know it's not going to be a walk in the park. I better become ready, and I'm going to come ready. I've been training, and I hope you have been too. So when I finally see you, and I finally put you to bed, all I can say to you, Leonidas, is you're welcome. Because now you don't have to live in my shadow, and now you don't have to worry about living up to this hype that you just, quite frankly, couldn't carry. That's why you've been riding on my coattails. So when I finally put you to bed, good night, and you're welcome, Leonidas.
Good night and drive home safely. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it sounds to me like Castorr is saying. Welcome to the life of Castorr. Welcome and stand up because greatness is in front of us. And we're about to see that come on the center stage in prime time on the brightest lights for the TF Crew's upcoming show, Day of Atonement. That'll take place September the 7th, 2 weeks from Sunday. Tickets are available on the Eventbrite page. I know it's such a long link, but I have it linked up here. And I know Angel and I will be talking a lot about this. He's here on Labor Day, so we'll certainly get his side of the story coming up. But please, I can't stress enough the importance of supporting all of our companies, especially the TF Crew and especially Castorr. So this is a match that's highly anticipated. The entire card is highly anticipated, and I can't wait. And I have a feeling that you'll be having some of those after a victory. Just don't tell family when they're there. So
they know business is business.
I understand, I know, but they're there, and they obviously don't want to hear that. All right, let me ask you 2 more questions. You have any goals for the rest of the year coming up?
Do you have any goals?
Any goals coming up? Anything else you want to keep growing? You want to win? I know championship
Honestly,
goals.
I just want to keep getting better and better. I feel like we're on a nice little streak right now where it just feels like every time I get in the ring, I'm having more and more fun, and it's getting
You look great out there. I've said this for like a long time. You, to me, look like straight out of Central Casting. You look like $1 million. You talk like $1 million. You're moving in the ring now. You're almost there. I mean, you could see there's a natural progression. That's what I love before we get to closing thoughts. Guys like you that come on here and the progress. And I look at like a lot of the TF Crew, NEW roster, and I see that progress. MJ Sear, I see is here. Rhea Silver, I'm going to talk to her for the first time in 2 weeks. I look at Kuma. I mentioned Kuma. I look at, obviously, what I mentioned Savage from NEW. Look at where he is now. I see yourself, Christopher Black, your tag team partner. I see so many of you that I really feel like are on that onward and upward. Jake was here, and we've talked about the crazy amount of matches Jake is in. You look at Gabe. Gabe started out with this really because he had a feud on Twitch with Mikey Anarchy. Look at where he is now. I mean, like, there's so many of, Be Insane, looking at him, leave aside the Boys and Girls Club thing. But I mean, there's just so many of you in the TF Crew and NEW that you're all going onward and upward, Shima, Joe Starr, leave aside the, the haircut and whatever else. But I think that's, to me, what's exciting about having guys like you to be here and to see so many of you breaking the fourth wall on the onward and upward. And I think that that's a positive, and those are the things that we're about. All right, before I get to closing thoughts, is there anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to plug? Anything else that we have not covered throughout the evening? Anything else that you would like to say to the world?
I will plug one last thing. I actually
plug
have
10 things if you want.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Tom. I have a YouTube channel that is coming. It's going to be called Music Yap, where I basically just do music reviews on certain albums and stuff like that. I already have the first video unlisted in the vault. It's going to be on Justin Bieber's Swag album. Just a little
Okay.
teaser right there. It's gonna be that little review.
Okay.
And then after that, I'm gonna be releasing a series of reviews on certain albums that have come out.
Okay.
I won't spoil them yet. You
Yeah,
guys will
don't
see
do
them.
that because don't be like Gabe Sayers and be Gabe Sayers believer, and then all of a sudden, tell everybody, here's my latest video. Watch it.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole, but
If it works, I think it'll work for you. I think it'll work.
right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Business.
I'll
Yeah,
watch it. No, listen, I mean, I like music, and you talked about Justin Bieber. Obviously, he's always a topic. I mean, that's a good one. And we have a channel for that we can hit the sub button for, and I can do that now, or is
absolutely.
that okay? So
If you
give me
do
the
music yap, I'll send it to you, Mr.
yeah,
Talker.
send it to me. I'll just put it in music app at YAP. I'll put it in right
Yes.
now. Let's see if it comes
YAP.
up.
No spaces, all caps. I should be the
Oh,
profile picture.
oh, okay. Well, you know what? I think I can just put it in by the ad handle. So I'm gonna do that right now, actually. So I'm gonna go like this, go like that.
That is gonna be happening real soon. And then
Yeah, I
of
got it.
course
I think this
TF
is
Day
it.
of
All,
Atonement.
all you do is yap about music. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up right here in front of the chat. I gave you one sub. I'll give you 3 more subs when we're off the air. So
I
because I
appreciate
can't
that, man.
get to the other links. But yeah, here you go. If you're out there, will you watch this eventually? That's the channel, and you'll see a bunch of stuff out there. I would highly recommend that. All it takes is by hitting a sub button, and yeah, just pretend there'll be more content. But obviously, yeah, we're gonna definitely enjoy this day. Yeah, I love that. I mean, listen, I've had on, a lot of different people. I had a guy on here, Jeff Oakes, who was
Okay.
had a record deal with Sony Records back with an R&B group, the Dons. I'm friends with a guy, Lawrence Michaels, who had a hit. You'll never believe this, had a rap hit in Mexico. So yeah, I know a lot of different
A
people. So we'll check
rap
this
hit in
out.
Mexico. That's
Yeah, he in
amazing.
2002. Yeah, but I know it's crazy to think about it, but he actually had like a song. I forget the song. He told me this like 5 years ago, and it was like he had a song. It was like big, like in 2000, like around the era of like what was it, Reggaeton? That's it, like in that era. But it was
Okay.
20 years ago. It's just like he got lucked out. He got a hit, and he was, and his daughter sings, and his yeah, like you though, he's got his own label. He's made some songs, and yeah, great guy, great stuff. I love music, and that's a part of what we do on Sportswire. So yeah, we'll definitely have you come back, maybe talk about that. We'll talk about some of the other places we're going to see. Certainly, All Out War. 2 weeks from now, Day of Atonement. We'll see you more in other places, I'm sure. Pure Vanguard Wrestling. But let me
Yeah,
pass the
man.
baton to you. Let me give you some closing thoughts. I'm going to put your Instagram up here one more time, and the floor now is yours.
First of all, guys, I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. Riding along with this crazy, incredible wrestling journey that I never thought I would be on. If you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be a professional wrestler and doing podcasts and being on all these different companies and states, I'd probably just laugh, to be honest. I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. So I just appreciate all of it, man. I not only do I appreciate where I'm at, I appreciate the journey that I've been taking along with it. The people that I've met along the way. Shout out Doc Ade, shout out Gabe Sayers. Even though eventually down the line I'm probably gonna have to beat those two up eventually. Um, Shout out to all the people in my life. Shout out to my tag partner Angel, Jake Dvorak, NEW, TF Crew. Make sure you guys buy the link for
Eventbrite,
Day of Atonement. And
absolutely
even if
very
you
important to support that. Yes.
right, and even if you can't make it, just watch our content. We're actually about to restart our TF Crew channel. It's gonna be called TF Crew TV. So if you guys could just show support to that channel because we're gonna be moving most of the content over on that channel
Oh, wow.
instead of the one we have right now. So just yeah, support all of us, man. Support is free. If we just stick together and support everybody, everybody wins. You know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm about, man. I tell you what, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here, for the drama. I'm not here for anything. I want it
Right.
out the door. I don't want to be in the middle of it. I just want to give people opportunities, and that's what it's all about. Everybody wins. We all win when everybody wins. That's the way I look at it. And please support TF Crew goes without saying. I always love watching the Unhinged shows when they're on. I always like watching TF Crew content. I always try to support TF Crew. I always love watching NEW. I love watching what guys like
Right.
Castorr have been doing, and it's a long time in the making. And that's exactly why it's Castorr Day here. And hit the sub, but I put the wrong YouTube link up, but I got this one up, and I sub to it, and you'll get
It's
3 more
fine, man.
subs from it. But I'm sure we'll know more about that. But certainly, check out Castorr on Instagram, YouTube. Check him out on companies like TF Crew, NEW, where he'll be wrestling 2 weekends from now. And I have no doubt that the future is definitely bright. The best is yet to come because this man is the definition of this platform. And I think it has been long overdue that he is here. He has got a lot to talk about. I have no doubt when he comes back on. And I am very excited about the future. We'll give you that physical copy when we're off the air. And I'm excited, man. I tell you what, I can't wait for 2 weeks from now. I can't wait. I'm sure Angel will have some things to say about you, but we won't tell Angel you're going to show up here next Monday. I'm going to definitely give you that link on Monday. Don't you worry. Just be available, and I'll send you the link. We won't tell Angel because he won't listen to that part. But I'm excited to see you next Monday, and I definitely want to bring you back here after a couple of events here at All Out War 11 and Day of Atonement. We'll see if you walk away with some gold, and you are definitely dripping with gold on, and you look like $1 million, and you'll definitely be making $1 million here very soon. But congratulations, my friend, all of your success. Long overdue to have you here. Can't wait to see you out there in 2 weeks. And thank you so much for being here. And also can't wait to hear some of your new music.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you for tuning in and listening to us yap.
Yeah, that's what we do, but that's okay because that's why we're here, and you and the companies you represent got my platform to almost 1,600 subscribers, and Rhino and Savio Vega being here. So I'll make time for TF Crew and NEW. I'll make time for. That's okay. But that is Castorr. We were in the life of Castorr. We definitely stood up for greatness here, and he is on the verge of even bigger and better things here coming up for companies like TF Crew. He'll be wrestling in a grudge match coming up here against Day of Atonement's Leonidas here. We'll be seeing what the Alpha Leonidas does against him here coming up. We will see that on September the 7th. Doors open 2:30 p.m. Bell times 3 o'clock. That's at the Lincoln Room in Bristol, Connecticut. We'll also see Castorr in action here with 2 R's in NEW's All Out War 11. Stay tuned to the NEW pages for more details, and he'll also be a part of other companies as well. Stay tuned in the future. Plus, check out his brand new YouTube channel. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Thank you so much, everybody here, for tuning in. Have a great night and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station, that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow.